Top tips to get you your handstand pirouettes. Step 1, we're going to be starting off by walking around a square in a pike position. The reason why we're doing this is to figure out if we want to move to the right or to the left. So you're going to start with your hands on the same line. You're going to move one hand forward, one hand backwards, and you're going to rotate around the quadrants in a pike position. Doing this repeatedly, either to the right or to the left, to figure out which way feels the most natural for you. Step number 2, we have a chest to wall facing handstand going either into a 90-degree turn or a 180-degree turn. The goal here is to keep the wall as support while we're figuring out what it feels like to step our hands at 90 degrees or 180 degrees at a time. I love this drill so that we can figure out how to keep our body upright as we're making those turns. One thing that CrossFitters really struggle with is going from a walking position into an upright position as we make those pirouette turns. We want to make sure that we are upright while we're turning either 180 degrees or 360 degrees so that we can keep our center in the middle of that turn. We don't want to have the feet leaning too far forward, then that's going to throw us off balance and we're likely to fall out of the pirouette. Step number 3, we're going to be taking it into the middle of the room with no lines. I want you to find a square or a small area to stay within. We're going to kick up into a handstand and work on taking small steps, making any sort of turn. We want to keep those arms nice and straight to make sure that we're pressing through those shoulders, not lifting our hand up and bending at the elbow. While practicing these turns in the middle of the room, we want to think about keeping our hands far apart. As we start to take little steps, we might find that our hands start to creep together. When they start to creep together, it is a lot harder to focus on that balance. We want to try and keep our hands further apart as we're turning so that we can keep the weight distributed and we're not walking on little tiny balance points. Last tip, while focusing on this middle of the room turn, we want to think about, again, keeping that body nice and upright. We don't want the feet to be traveling too far over the body. Then we're going to be ended up walking in that direction rather than staying in the middle of the center point we're trying to turn around. Step number 4, we are now going to be taking it into the middle of the room. However, we have lines on the floor as our quadrants. Now we can use these lines with tape or you can use any sort of chalk or markings. Our focus is we're going to kick up into our handstand with our hands on one line. We're going to step either with the right or with the left onto the next line. We're going to step forwards with the one hand and then we're going to step backwards with the other hand as we rotate around the quadrants. Here, we're working on more purposeful, bigger steps. While doing this drill, we want to focus on keeping our hands far apart and keeping our torso upright. We want to make sure we're not leaning over into that banana back. Our weight's going to carry on going otherwise. We want to stay in the center of our turning point, keeping our hands with a nice little bit of space as we go around the quadrants. We can start by working on this drill with a 180-degree turn, so basically a U-turn. You can kick up, work on one step, another step, and then come down. You can then progress that to 270 degrees, and then working on our full 360 degrees. Using this 4-quadrant drill, we're looking at taking bigger steps, keeping our hands far apart. And if you miss that line at any point, it's not the end of the world. We just want to make sure that we're taking nice big steps and getting it as efficient as possible as we make our way around that 360-degree turn. Don't forget, any skill takes loads of practice. So keep practicing and don't be afraid of bringing it back to the basics, back to the foundations so that we can build back up again. Good luck.